And the thing is, I do believe there was talk about these things. I believe if we study history, the Confederates were able to shoot pterodactyls, back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online.
Google it
They
yourself.
spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It was a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
What I'm saying is Jesus wrote a dinosaur to work. That's history. It's in the Bible. How to Train Your Dragon.
Historical facts.
And if you don't believe it, do your own research. Pull up Google. You'll find the picture, I promise.
Oh my God.
Thank you, John Gleason, Godless Engineer, for gifting me this beautiful moment. Y'all remember when they tried to cancel Steven Spielberg for posing with an animatronic triceratops animal rights activist?
Back it up.
Hit it from the back.
Cloaca. Historical facts.
Eat my ass, BP. You're down here bailing on the rest of us because you don't want to process your grief and shame like a normal person by drinking and mistreating strangers.
No, Rick. It is you who must nibble my cloaca, or bird asshole.
Everyone knows what a cloaca is.
Back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online. They spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It was a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
Paul Bunyan was sharing some Funyuns with his pet velociraptor.
Whoa.
Oh, you thought it was an ox? Roll back the clock. Let me knock the socks off. Historical facts.
I didn't cut out. You heard me. Are you a pervert or something? Okay.
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm the Godless Engineer, and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Tonight, we're going to be taking a look at a theist's top 5 proofs that God exists. These are the top 5 reasons that he is convinced that God definitely does exist, and why atheists probably shouldn't be atheists, and they should instead believe and suck his god dick. So, if you want to fuck around and find out the top 5 reasons why you should be a Christian, then please stay tuned. All right, heathens. Well, this week is not a pick from the Skeptic Mafia necessarily, because I had a lot of the things going on at work, just constant stress. And so I wasn't able to get up a poll this week, but this is something that has been voted on by the Skeptic Mafia in the past, like last week. So, I do appreciate all the Skeptic Mafia members that continue to be members here on the channel. And we got a lot of things to go through tonight. If you would like to support us here at Godless Engineer, we'd really appreciate your support. You can, start by joining the Skeptic Mafia by hitting that join link down below, and you too can help us out here at Godless Engineer. Another way that you can do that is by sending in a super chat. Super chats I'll interact with right here directly on stream, and I will definitely tell you what I think. So if you want to, go ahead, send in your super chats and all that kind of stuff. Help support us here at Godless Engineer, and I'd really appreciate it. We definitely have a lot of news stuff to go through. I mean, right now it's kind of a news-rich sort of news cycle, I guess. There's just a lot of shit that's been going on. I'm glad that I waited at least about a day maybe, because I was able to really flesh out these news stories. But then we also have Fuck Around and Find Out that's going to be, interacted with by Bro Cephas. And then we got our response video tonight. So kind of a full slate, kind of the new normal full slate kind of thing. So if you heathens want to go ahead and get to the news, we will do that. Are you ready to get to the news?
I'm ready.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Y'all ready for the news? Today I learned some shit that I really wish I didn't know about. That's how the news cycle has been. Like, seriously, I feel like it's just like a screaming bird, or like one of those huskies that doesn't know how to bark. It just knows how to scream all the time. That's what I feel like the news is right now. All right. So first up in the news, we have World War III. World War III. Sorry. Okay, so pictured is a train wreck that nobody can stop watching. Apparently, the preliminary steps to World War III are progressing as we expected. Yesterday, on Friday, Donald Trump, seen here trying to figure out how to hide the evidence of his association with the pedophile and rapist Jeffrey Epstein, attacked Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, seen here being an actual fucking leader during wartime and should be given the respect he fucking deserves. In an Oval Office meeting, J.D. Vance, seen here desperately trying not to fuck the couch. Well, hold on. Desperately trying not to be a cuck for Trump, but also resisting the insatiable urge to fuck the couch he's sitting on. Was also in attendance to ensure we all knew how much of a fucking snowflake the conservatives were. A decent portion of the televised meeting was Vance and Trump melting down over Zelensky not going face down ass up like the Pornhub videos they binge watched together. They demanded Zelensky say thank you more than the innumerable times he's already said that on Twitter, including directly after the meeting that they had. Apparently, they expected to walk into this meeting and immediately have Zelensky sucking their dicks, which is weird for a couple of homophobic conservative... Wait, no, actually that tracks. That totally tracks there. Eventually, Zelensky tried to warn Trump that Putin will eventually come for him and America, and Trump mistakenly took that as Zelensky telling him what to do or something, which honestly, he should probably have been taking notes, because the actual masterclass that was going on was on how to drum up the support from all of the good guys and turn the baddies into snowflakes on nationally televised interaction, and then retreat into a circle jerk. I mean, Trump and Vance melted down so quick that it literally made Rubio nearly melt into the couch that Vance was trying not to fuck. It was so embarrassing. The entire exchange, fucking embarrassing. I wish we had better leaders, but people fucking voted for this bullshit. Oh, he looked definitely, I mean, I don't know.
He was pissed. He wasn't embarrassed.
Really? He was.
Because immediately after, he canceled all funding to Ukraine and went on news stations to back Trump and Vance.
No, I agree. Afterwards, he kowtowed, but during the meeting, at least looking at him on the couch, he was fucking, I don't know, he was feeling some kind of way.
Give him credit for being embarrassed.
You wouldn't? No?
He's a piece of shit.
Rubio is a piece of shit. That's right. All right. So next up, oops, he did it again. He fucked us real hard. The conservatives are celebrating it. This week, Elon Musk, seen here demonstrating that he is definitely not tech support, because nobody in tech support actually broadcasts to fucking anybody that they are tech support. That's something that we don't fucking do. No, I can't fix your printer, but Elon Musk was wearing it proudly. Mind you, in the White House, which is something that Zelensky got in trouble for with a reporter, for not wearing a suit or something, while he's wearing a joke shirt and a blazer, or an overcoat, Texas, like a belt buckle, and then a baseball hat, a stupid hat. Yep. Anyways, Musk asked retired air traffic controllers to consider coming back to work. The only thing that I think I want more after retiring from my job is to return back to that same job that I just fucking retired from, especially when the conservatives are trying to make working for the government so insufferable that anybody wanting to go back after having already retired, there's something mentally wrong with that particular situation. If Trump and Musk didn't want a fucking shortage of air traffic controllers, then they shouldn't have fired the air traffic controllers that they had. This comes on the heels of Musk firing custodians for our nuclear arsenal and needing to rehire them, as well as those working to prevent the bird flu pandemic. Also, Musk's team apparently canceled a task force or some kind of funding to combat Ebola outbreaks. I'm sorry, everybody in that room, when he paused to hear laughter for some fucking reason, they should have immediately been like, why would you ever fucking cancel that, you fucking waste of goddamn oxygen? Musk is also planning on forcing all government employees to do weekly accounting, which I can verify that we're actually going to have to do, and of what they have done, which is duplicated work, because they already do that. It seems like Doge isn't about efficiency at all, and it's all about making the federal workforce, the force that is the backbone of protecting the U.S. from outside and inside attacks, suffering for simply being part of the federal workforce. Personally, Elon Musk can get fucked by a cactus. I hope he falls down and accidentally gets a fucking rim job from a cactus. I really hope that happens. That won't be in my 5 points this next week, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, I hope it happens. Next up in the news is beating disabled kids. I don't know if you know, but that is apparently part of Christian scripture. This is Oklahoma State Senator Shane Jett, seen here jacking off while watching a disabled child getting beaten by a school principal. He claimed recently that a provision preventing corporal punishment of disabled children is anti-biblical. He chastised people for proposing that not beating children was the better option. He obviously is appealing to the Old Testament adage of spare the rod, spoil the child. I want to make it very clear right now that if you think that beating disabled kids is a good way to discipline anyone, let alone disabled children, I think you deserve to have your fucking ass beat. And I think that you should probably have to eat out of a tube. I'm just saying, like, if you get your ass beat so bad you gotta suck shit out of a tube for the rest of your life, I think it's deserved. People that beat children into submission deserve a special kind of hell. And I mean, I'd say that as somebody that doesn't believe in hell and think hell is completely immoral. I think you deserve a special kind of hell if you're going to beat a disabled child. I was neurodivergent as a child. I still am neurodivergent, and it wasn't recognized. And if my parents had beaten me, I would have turned out very differently, probably more violent than I currently am. Shane Jett better hope he doesn't encounter me, because I will show him what it looks like to abuse a disabled child, because that fucking asshole is going to get another asshole ripped. I mean, he's threatening violence.
That doesn't.
Okay.
Not a violence, especially internet.
All right. Next up is this guy. Well, not only this guy, but multiple different people. West Virginia, some West Virginia lawmakers or delegates. This one right here, it was pictured just after getting a dirty Sanchez from J-Dog's asshole while he was giving him a reach round. They're trying to amend their constitution in West Virginia to acknowledge that the Bible is the inerrant word of God, historically reliable, and is a standard for morality. I guess they didn't read the part, Numbers 31, where unbelieving neighbors were, they committed genocide on them and then took all their kidnapped their small virgin girls, and forced them into sex slavery, which is rape, by the way. rape. Never mind the various parts of the Bible like Exodus 27 that restrict your right to the freedom of speech. And, the First Amendment that provides freedom of speech is in the Bill of Rights. Speaking of the First Amendment, which protects the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion, Exodus 23, Deuteronomy 11:16, and Numbers 31, and many more verses are actually anti-freedom of religion. Of course, for these inhumane motherfuckers, things like Deuteronomy 22:28 through 29, where raped women are forced to marry their rapists, this would, be a normal thing for them. They would think that that's like a good law and that they would want to enact. But this would actually be a violation of the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness for women. But, they don't give a shit about women and women's rights. Judges 11 has cruel and unusual punishment for pinky swearing on vaguely worded promises. Exodus 12:29 through 38 is the mass murder of children as punishment for not letting the Israelites go, which is a violation of the 8th Amendment, which prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. Again, though, these conservative men want to burn the Constitution. They don't actually care about preserving the American way of life. They seek to abolish our current system in favor of the Gilead Republic. All of these bootlicking conservatives can fuck off. Anyways, that's it for the news tonight. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And, we're going to go on into the fuck around and find out section. Are you ready there, hun, for fuck around and find out? I mean, you'll have to discuss that with Brocephus. I'm going to go get him real quick. Brocephus! What's up? We got more fucking around and finding out tonight? Yep. I picked some good ones for you.
Hi, Brocephus.
Hi there. How you doing? Yeah, I'm ready to fuck around. Every now and then I get a little excited that we're gonna find out. Fuck around. All right. Well, I sang it, but here's somebody that can do it better than me.
Fuck around. Every now and then I get a little excited that you're gonna find out. Fuck around. Every now and then.
What? Wine money. I can actually just make wine. Limited Light sent in a super chat there saying, "Today I didn't learn." GE can sing it better than I can. Okay, so let's see. What do we got tonight as far as fucking around and finding out? Let's see. Okay. There, got it. Shit, that is small. Okay, let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Okay. Alrighty. I support Ukraine totally. I voted for Trump for his other policies, like our border. I can't stand his treatment of Ukraine and Zelensky. It is embarrassing to me. Yeah, it's really weird how the conservatives nowadays are so willing to go face down, ass up, and get their ass drilled by Putin when, 50, 60 years ago, they would have never thought about this. Like, you had Reagan that was up there in the 80s that was like, Gorbachev, tear down this wall! And now it's like, Putin, I'll give you a reach around if you fuck me in the ass real hard! Is basically what's it's turned into now, which would be really weird for Reagan to stand up there and say, "Pooty poo, can you please put it in my booty doo?" I just saying, like, it would be weird to hear that. Trump and Vance don't know the history of Ukraine and don't seem to care. Of course they don't fucking care, dipshit. They never cared. They just care about sucking on Putin. Trump is all, I want peace. Doesn't everyone? He says Putin wants peace, of course. He does so he can declare victory. Zelensky tried to tell him minerals deal was a start, but was not a guarantee. 25 times Russia and Putin broke the ceasefire deals and didn't honor them. Trump tried to say that he wasn't president, when Zelensky pointed out Trump was. Trump didn't want to hear it. Right. He makes up his own reality, and he substitutes it for the one that exists. That's how he's always operated. Anyway, what happens when Trump is out of office? What about the people living in Crimea or the Donbass? Will they become like East Germany or North Korea? Well, I mean, yeah. Honestly, ideally what Putin wants to happen is Putin wants to take over Ukraine and absorb it back into Russia, just completely wholesale, which he'll probably end up executing Zelensky for that. But then, who's to say that Putin's going to stop there? He'll go to Poland next, and Putin's basically just the next fucking Hitler. That's what Zelensky was trying to tell Trump, but Trump wasn't going to have it. He was like, don't you tell me about the future Nostradamus motherfucker. And he was like trying to act all big and bad, trying to show his balls, but he forgot that his balls shrunk up and was in fucking Putin's purse. Okay? So, anyways, all right. Well, you fucked around and you found out. You voted for Trump. You voted for this particular situation. You knew what he was about. I know that Trump said, I will stop this the day I get into office. And you shouldn't have believed that, because these kinds of things are like incredibly complicated, but also Putin is a dictator that wants to take over the Ukraines. Okay? So, like, you should have known this was going to happen. That's some good shit. Next up is Summer. Summer says, Donald J. Trump, Doge Subcommittee. I am an Army veteran, disabled, and have 5 years of government service. But because I changed agencies and my service didn't count toward my new probationary period, I had to start over with a new probationary period because the HR rules are stupid. I lost my job! None of us should have to endure this, but especially those who have protections we've earned. I voted for you 3 times. I voted for you 3 times. Believe in what you want to do, but this isn't the way. I have been in bullshit AI job market for months, and I can't afford to go back into it. I have a husband who's disabled and children. This is disgusting and irrational and wrong on so many levels. Grabbing the fresh fruit because it's low hanging and leaving the rotten to hide in the trees is not doing what's right for the American people. The rotten fruit won't go away, and just because someone responds to an email lying about what they did last week isn't gonna do shit either. Well, Summer, I'm glad that you recognize that that's just not going to do shit. It doesn't prove shit, and they're not going to get any kind of information out of the federal workforce. I'm glad that you recognize that, and I'm sorry that you lost your job, but you fucking voted for it. He was pretty clear about what he wanted to do. He was pretty clear by hiring all of the Project 2025 folks onto his campaign, as well as being associated with them and them being associated with him in his last administration. You should have known this was coming. Maybe you should have read Project 2025 because they laid it out in that particular fucking playbook there, Summer. Maybe if you would have paid attention to all of the motherfuckers that were telling you that this was going to happen. We all told you. You decided to just put it out of your mind and vote for the motherfucker anyways. Well, I hope Mango Mussolini over there is working out for you. Apparently not, but, I hope that you enjoy your vote. Next up is Jacob. Jacob says, I've been a proud Trump supporter for 3 elections. And now my business just got cut off from our federal contract. This is bull! We're not some DEI quota filter. We do real hard work, as opposed to black people that don't, or gay people. They don't do real work neither, which is essentially what he's saying. Oh, also any disabled person, they don't do real work either. All right. Honestly, the fact that Trump fired the black Joint Chiefs of Staff chair, Yeah, the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, he fired him and then put a person, a white guy in there that doesn't have the necessary merit to be put there, when the former chair of the Joint Chiefs, he had the necessary merit. He earned that position. Okay, Joint Chiefs. What I mean, I'm just a hick. Okay, like I'm trying my best to get all this shit right. I'm learning as I go. All right. So whenever you see DEI, just replace it with whatever kind of racial slur you want to right there. Okay, or ableist slur, or misogynistic slur, whatever one. Just replace it with that. Okay. When you read DEI coming from fucks like this, he continues with, "We need to get in touch with someone ASAP to fix this mess. Like and share so the right people see this." I'm sorry, Jacob. The quote unquote right people don't give a shit about you. They don't care. They're just looking to cut off all of the money flow to anybody that doesn't already support them. And I know you support them. You voted for them, but you're not rich enough for them to funnel more money into. So that's why you're getting fucked right now. Maybe, just maybe, you should have listened to people when they were telling you that this shit was going to happen. All right, next. Jim McKnight over there on the Zitter says, President Trump, I am a non-DEI loyal subject and have voted for you 3 times. Again, when you hear, I'm non-DEI, you should automatically think that he's saying, I'm not a woman, I'm not black, I'm not Mexican, I'm not brown, I'm not whatever other color, I am a man that loves to fuck women, okay? And white, a white man that loves to fuck women. So please treat me special. His penis probably doesn't work. That's a good add-on there, KC. Thank you for that. I was just laid off from the Department of Agriculture. I trust your process, but I am wondering how I can help when I can't afford to live. Well, you know, if you work for the Department of Agriculture, you used to, maybe you should have thought of that when Trump was planning on like dissolving most of the departments out there, at least cutting the workforce. This has been shit that he has promised to do for his entire campaign. And if you, I get it, you didn't want to listen to the liberals out there that were telling you Project 2025 is his playbook. That's what he's going to use the first 180 days when he's in office. I know you didn't want to listen to that, but guess what? Maybe you fucking should, because it's in there. Dipshit. These people fucking get my blood boiling. Fucking crazy ass bitches. Anyways, next person's Paul here. Paul says, we need to cut waste. But just because you or Elon have money doesn't mean you know how to do it. You were doing it wrong. You need someone with common sense, not money or ego. I voted for you to fix things, not do stupid things. Well, you know there, Paul, you voted for the wrong motherfucker if you expected him not to do some dumb shit, because he was talking about doing dumb shit when he was, you know, campaigning and everything. Like he was going to say, we're going to bring down bad inflation. And immediately, first day, as soon as I win the election, I'm going to bring it down. And guess what? That didn't fucking happen. I'm going to end the war in Ukraine. Nope, that didn't happen. What other promises? He's going to bring down the price of eggs. Now, all of a sudden, because the egg prices are skyrocketing because of the bird flu, nobody gives a shit about the egg prices anymore. They don't care. They just want to wreak havoc on the American public. They want to for marginalized communities to be fucked over just as much as possible, and they're willing to snort crack off of fucking Putin dick in order to do it. Just saying, Paul, you did indeed vote for this, okay? This right here, you voted for. Maybe you should educate yourself on Project 2025 or the conservative movement in general. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Anyways, that's going to be it for all the fuck around and find out tonight.
It's really fun to watch you fall apart. We were saying this shit from the start.
We were saying this shit from the start. The Brocephus is done tonight. I will see you heathens later. I hope you burn in hell and all that other kind of good shit. Bye, y'all. Brocephus, could you stop telling my audience to burn in hell? Well, no, they're going to burn in hell. They're heathens, right?
Never.
I mean, stop saying, you know, it's whatever. I mean, if Trump's going to heaven, I would rather be in hell. Trump ain't going to heaven, I promise you. I don't know. Anyways, all right. Well, that's going to be it for the comments tonight. Boom. Let's get to the response. Okay. Let's see. I need to pull it up. And I actually need to... I forgot. This is a vertical fucking thing. So,
what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the...
Sorry. Hold on. Yeah. Well, everybody just give me 1 second, because I got... Okay. Let's see. Okay, there we go. And now we just got to do Blook, deblock. All right. That's looking good, isn't it? I mean, kind of, I guess. Hold on. I'm fixing the vertical over here, because this guy is luckily I don't have to have the little iPhone thingy on the vertical over here, because he's pretty well centered in frame there. Yeah, actually, you know what, why don't I do this? I can make this a little bit better. Oh, I mean, I'm making it look a little bit better. Zoom in on him, because he's got horrible framing on his fucking thing. Okay. All right. So this guy right here is going to reveal top 5 reasons that he knows God is real. And so we're definitely going to be trying to figure out from him, you know, why we should be believing in God. I mean, I'm here for it. Are you here for it there, hon? Okay. No?
What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the channel, Christian's Real Estate Journey. Today I just wanted to talk to you guys about why I firmly, truly, undeniably believe in the existence of God. Like 5 reasons why I personally believe in God, and let's get right into it. 1, undeniable evidence of God. Bro, look around, bro.
Look at the trees, bro! Look at the trees! Just look everywhere. You see that tree, this tree, that tree over there, all that? Look, there's a fucking shrub. Gotta be fucking God behind that shit, bro. Let's go. That's how I feel. Sunian says he belongs in jail. Yeah, he's driving while he's recording this and talking about God. I feel like you could definitely wait till you get home, or at least pull over on the side of the road and then record it. It's like 8 minutes long, like 7.5 minutes long. It can wait. Okay, bro? Bro, it can wait.
How can we see? How can we hear? How can we eat and poop, bro?
How can you take a shit without God, bro? Like, there are biological processes that explain hearing, sight, taking a shit. You know, there are engineering things that I can teach you about how the fucking toilet works. Like, we can teach you these things, bro. We can teach you how all of these things work. There's even like solid evolutionary lines for how ears formed and how all of that took shape. So like, we have explanations for that. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that it's proof for God. This would be a personal incredulity fallacy. He's filling his gaps of knowledge in with God did it, or God is necessary for it to happen. Zumi says, hey GE, I'm currently baking something. Could you set a 20-minute timer to remind me to get it out of the oven? Thanks, much love. Okay. Oh, it's probably spit because I'm yelling. I didn't realize that I was a timer, but I will try to keep an eye out right there. All right. Okay. So, yes, he thinks that everything proves God, even him, taking a shit. I've never had a shit so good that I was like, God had to have been involved in this shit. Holy fuck. I've never had that kind of shit before. Maybe he's had some kind of like personal experience while on the shitter. I don't know.
Everything is designed so intricately, perfectly.
No. It's not designed perfectly. Like there's a lot of flaws to biological systems that we find here on Earth. There's the fact that we got these wisdom teeth that come in that have to get like pulled out. I mean, they served a purpose at one point, but now they're vestigial. There's other things that just don't make a lot of sense. Like in giraffes, it's got that one nerve that like, to go like 5 inches, it wraps all the way around like their chest and everything. It goes down their neck, back up, and connects. And we can explain this evolutionarily, obviously, but for whatever reason, these people think that there are perfect systems out there, which he may appeal to. I've not actually seen this entire video. I saw like the first few seconds of it, enough to know that I wanted to do a response to it. So he may go into this whole idea that like, oh, if you take out like our heart, then we die. And it's like, well, sure. I mean, while true, our system works in a certain way, that doesn't mean that our entire system had to be here in order for us to evolve, like for an animal to evolve into us. Very obviously, there was a lot of small changes that took place over time that eventually led to our current body plan. But like, just because we have this particular body plan doesn't mean that our evolutionary lineage has always had this body plan, and our body plans couldn't change.
To a magnitude that we can't even comprehend. Like, just look at the human body. It's like a car, someone designed a...
No. The human body is not like a car. For one thing, like, cars are obviously engineered by humans, and you don't find situations in cars. Well, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say that, because there are times when
I don't know if y'all know this, but when you get to heaven, your moral actions are not judged. You're only judged for believing in me. Thank you.
There are times when cars are engineered in a certain way that seems kind of stupid, and they revise it later. So I mean, I guess stupid design is expected whenever it's human design, but like there's plenty of stupid design choices for the human body plan that shows that there's at least somebody that's not perfect that's designing it. If your claim is that God is a perfect designer or a perfect engineer or something like that, then the human body plan is just simply not something that you would actually want to tout as being, uber special to the point of like proving that God exists or proving that a perfect designer exists. So like there are flaws in both, but like I feel like that just speaks to the naturalness of it. Like humans aren't perfect. They design imperfect things. The body isn't designed at all. It just naturally came into existence through evolution, through small changes over time. And because it was unguided, by some kind of magical creator, it's going to have flaws in it because that's just how nature operates, right? And so that's what we expect. And to claim that God is a perfect designer or that God designed our bodies is to admit that he's not perfect. So you kind of got like a contradiction there in your own logic if you're going to be going that way. Zumi said, what do you call a nun in a wheelchair? Virgin mobile. I love that. Dad jokes are how I roll. I guess that's why. Okay, enough with the jokes. Back to ripping this guy a new one. Thank you. I like the jokes though.
It didn't just explode and come out and just magically appear.
Well, no. That's not what normal people that accept evolution for the scientific fact that it is. That's not what we say. We don't say it magically came into existence. That's actually what theists like this guy says. This guy right here would say that shit just popped into existence magically. The only difference is that, you know, he thinks that a wizard is necessary for, you know, things to come into existence. Whereas I find the natural explanations for how things came into existence to be more persuasive, because I don't require a magical wizard to do it. So, I mean, I feel like that's the big difference between our two worldviews here. I don't believe in magic, and thus I don't believe in magical wizards. He does.
To build the engine, think of how the tires are going to get energy from the engine, or like torque from the engine. You know, it's just so intricately designed that it's not a coincidence. Same with the
Well, right. It was engineered by people, but like that we know it was engineered by people. We have natural explanations for like how the body works and, you know, how different body plans come about and all. Like we have natural explanations for this. So if we have a natural explanation for it, we don't need a magical wizard to do it.
human body, like we got our motor, which is our heart, you know, we got our hands and feet, which are our tires. It's just like the design. And then look at the human eye, like if it was missing one nerve or just one little piece of the puzzle, and we would be blind, or we would.
That's not true. There are multiple different versions of the eye that exist in multiple different capacities, and they have multiple different qualities. And we actually have a good evolutionary explanation for the eye, like, and just, you know, very top level explanation here. Basically, there were light sensitive cells that all clumped together and that allow the organism to survive better. And because it allowed this organism to survive, it kept making small changes over time that made the eyes better. It eventually culminating in what we, you know, see as the eye today. But in the animal kingdom, we do have like every developmental stage of the eye in existence in some animals out there. And so to say that, oh, if just one nerve was missing, then that's not true, because we do have different versions of the eye that are different than, you know, our eyes. And sometimes they work better, sometimes they work worse. And so, like, I mean, that's just simply not fucking true.
See blurry, and I know not everybody can see perfectly, but just the standard human design is just not just human, man. Let's put humans aside. Look at the world, the trees, the oxygen.
Look at the trees. He literally said, "Look at the trees." Oh my God!
I told you.
I know.
Man, how do birds know where to migrate? Like,
how do birds, like, these are Googleable things. Like, let's see. How do birds know where to migrate? Birds use a combination of environmental cues, landmarks, and possibly a magnetic sense to navigate during migration. I mean, birds can experience the world, and they have instincts that drive them to migrate. Like, I mean, these are like natural explanations. There's no need for a magical wizard there. Like, no magical wizard is telling like birds to migrate when they migrate. Like, nobody is doing that. They're just naturally doing it. Like, that's just part of their natural instinct. Now, where the burden is on him is needing to prove that God is necessary for birds to know when to migrate, or for birds to know where to go when they migrate. We have natural explanations that can show why they do those things. So we already have a fully fleshed out explanation that we can give you. So we don't have the burden of proof anymore. The burden of proof is on you to prove that a magical wizard is necessary for all that shit.
oh yeah, let's just all fly south. What? That makes no sense. Like, yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense to you. That doesn't mean that it doesn't make any kind of sense. Like, they're birds. They migrate south because that is what their instincts are telling them to do. Because if they're up there in the cold and all this other stuff, they're more likely to perish. Because they migrated, their ancestors migrated, and developed that sense, they were able to survive. Like, it's all about survival instinct that everybody has, because that's a core component of like a central nervous system of a living organism, is this survival instinct. Now, if you're going to suggest that a magical wizard is necessary for organisms to have a survival instinct, you're going to need to prove that link.
to be a creator, like the ecosystems, like how the chains of life, how this animal has this to eat, and then this one has this to eat, and then, dude, it's just, man, I could go on.
Yeah, you could go on forever, but I'm glad that you're not. Because I mean, those are all naturally explainable by like what nutrients do animals need and all this other stuff. So I mean, like there's natural explanation for these things. It's almost like this guy just started thinking about all the things he doesn't understand, and instead of Googling them, he just said, "Oh, that's got to prove magical wizard's necessary." Yep, a magical wizard is necessary for a lion to hunt an antelope. It's a magical wizard is necessary for any other food chain that exists out there in the ecosystem. I feel like most of this is all about like nature seeking that equilibrium, like entropy, running down and getting to that equilibrium state. And I think that it all kind of resolves back to that in some kind of sense. And so like we have natural explanations for this. You need to prove that your magical wizard is necessary for any of this to happen. Otherwise, it's just the flow of energy.
Averages on point number one. Like the trees, how seeds grow into trees and those trees turn into fruits, man. It's just what?
Again, what? Yeah. Okay.
There's no way this all happened by an explosion. Like I think.
No, we don't say that it happened by an explosion. We say that it happened slowly over time through multiple different series of cause and effect that causes these things. So I mean, there's that. It shows that he doesn't understand what the Big Bang is, or the Big Bang theory is, or the inflation of the universe is, the beginning of the universe. He thinks, oh, big explosion. Oh, wait, hold on, fucking, where is it at? Do I have it in here? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, wait, here it is. Hold on. Here we go. This right here is what he thinks happened at the beginning of the, or at least this is what he thinks scientists say about the beginning of the universe.
Smoke weed every day.
I swear, that's the best animation that I've ever hastily thrown together. All right. What's point number two? Can we get to point number two? We get it. You're personally incredulous, and you think that proves God. Fan-fucking-tastic, apparently. What's point number two?
Cliff correctly said, like, there's no way, like, a car dealership comes out of an explosion, and next thing you know, all the cars are organized and in place and built. No. Point number two.
Okay, yeah, so the whole car explosion thing, that's another tornado through a junkyard to produce like a jet or something like that. It's just totally ridiculous, and it shows that they don't understand what evolution is and how natural processes work. I would suggest that this guy, first of all, stop driving and recording shit at the same time, but also next, look up what uniformitarianism is and how that came about, because it was Christians that, developed that idea, obviously. But how that came about, what it means, and how things happen. Because this catastrophism that he's talking about, which is a theistic model, this catastrophism is actually what religion teaches. Religion teaches a giant catastrophe, just and then put everything in order. Like think of the Noah's flood. Like the way that they explain Noah's flood is a catastrophism sort of way of explaining it, and how that explains how all the dinosaur bones got everywhere in different layers and all this other kind of stuff. So we know that that's not true, and we understand how nature operates slowly, and so you're going to need better reasons than you've already come up with. But we're getting to point number two.
I truly believe I've seen people that have been under demon possession. Like, it's hard to explain. I'm gonna put it in simple terms. I was hanging out with this girl this whole time. She took me to a satanic hotel. At that time, I knew God existed, because I believed in God because my dad made me pray since I was little, so I knew about God. But when I was like,
where's a satanic hotel? I want to know where this satanic hotel is. That sounds like a pretty cool place to go to, like a cool experience. Like, oh, is this Satan's hotel? Fuck. Damn. Is this hotel hell? Oh, That seems like a place that I'd want to go to, like, and just stay one night in hotel hell.
Like 13, 14, I'm like, you know what? There's no way. Like, this is a world with infinite planets. Like, there's no way there's a God. And if he's
well, hold on. There's not infinite planets. There's a finite amount of planets out there, and I mean, it's a giant number. But he just comes across as being like, "Oh, it's a big number. That means it's infinite," which seems a bit naive and childish. So, I mean, maybe he just simply doesn't understand how numbers work, or how infinites work. But in any case, yeah. So, let's see. I still couldn't deny a creator. He says that he knows Jesus existed because his dad made him pray about Jesus all the time. What none of this actually proves that God exists. It just proves that you were indoctrinated from a young age. You were indoctrinated to believe a certain thing, and you've continued in those beliefs. That in no way should prove to you that God exists, for one. But for two, it's also no reason that I should believe that God exists. Just because your dad was, you know, indoctrinating you into a religion, that doesn't mean that I also have to believe in that religion. There are plenty of people of other religious persuasions out there that get indoctrinated into the faith as early as you did. But, you know, you're not part of those religions, and I'm not part of yours.
Is he the God for other planets with other life? And then I started believing in the firmament. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that right now.
Why not? Let's talk about the firmament, motherfucker. I'm not going to talk about the firmament. Why not? That would be proof that God exists, right? If there was a firmament, like, come on, bro.
Bro, the way this girl was acting a whole week before getting to that satanic hostel, I say it's satanic because it had such dark art all over it.
That doesn't mean it's satanic, bro. Like, if it was satanic, you would expect, like, the dark and, I guess, everything, but you would also expect, you know, I don't know, Satan shit and like satanic temple stuff there, brochures about how you should join the satanic temple, which honestly, the tenets of the satanic temple are actually a whole lot better than the 10 Commandments. So, I mean, like, I don't see what the problem would be. Again, sounds like a pretty cool fucking place.
Creepy energy, man. Bro, it was like two people just snapping in and out of conscious. Like, one moment, like, she was like, hey, how's it going? Like, all normal. And she was a chill girl. Like, she had a, I don't know, but, and then one minute, she would just, like, something would take over her body and mind, and she just had this soul-penetrating look that was not in her the whole week before I hung out with her that day.
Okay, you're leaving out a lot of context here. It kind of depends on what you said, because if you said some really misogynistic shit from the Bible that you were indoctrinated with, I would totally expect her to be like fucking scared of you or scared of the situation that she's put herself in because she didn't realize that you were such a misogynistic asshole. Like, if you said that, I'm not saying that you did. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of context you're leaving out here. But you're also sounding like that sidekick guy from Ant-Man who's, like, explaining a bunch of superfluous shit just to waste time. Like, I feel like that's what you're doing right now. I don't see how this actually proves that God exists, other than maybe you're trying to prove that the devil exists. So if the devil exists, I guess that means God exists for you. I don't really understand the point in this story, but I'll continue.
Like a soul penetrating look, like two people, and then out of nowhere she would snap and be like, oh, where are we? Like, who are you? Like, what are we doing here? Like, oh my god.
And okay, did you not take her to a hospital? Because like that sounds like she's got some kind of like psychosis going on or something. Like, this isn't like a demon infesting her soul. She needs fucking medical help, you shithead. Like, this is one thing that I hate about religious folk, especially those that actually believe in like demons and like spiritual warfare and all this other shit. Like, if someone like it goes into like a fugue state or something like that and then snaps back, they're like, the devil had her. Oh no, the devil had her. No, she suffered some kind of medical crisis and now you're ignoring it and you're not taking her to get help. Like, get her fucking help, you shit face.
What's going on? Like, where's my house? And then out of like 20 seconds later, boom, she'd snap into it again. Just look at me with like the most intense, like demonic look, bro. Like a predator looking at his prey. Like, I can't.
Yeah, you know, I mean, some people like that. I mean, come on. I feel like if KC looked at me like that, I'd be like, well, okay, let me just take my shit off here. Let's do it. Like, I mean, come on. Don't kink shame.
Explain it. It was such intense, and then she snap out of it. And I know that look wasn't her because I've hung out with her a week before this incident. She did not have that look in her eyes that look in her face at all until that very moment where I turned on an incense and I said, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
You turned on the incense? Like, I mean, you light incense, like, is I guess maybe, I guess it could be like an electric version of incense? I don't know. Like, I mean, anyways, so if there's sudden mood swings in somebody that wasn't present there before, they're probably having some kind of like medical episode that you should take them to the hospital for. Like if it's something that they're genuinely concerned about and it's something that's genuinely like a problem, you know, that they're experiencing, take them to the hospital. There is no spiritual warfare. There is no devil that's trying to like battle for the soul of anybody, because I don't think that souls exist. And there's no evidence that souls exist. And there's definitely no evidence that the devil attacks souls. Okay. So like, take her to the fucking hospital.
As soon as I turned off the incense, she was already laying down, sleeping. As soon as I turned off the incense and the smoke started coming out, she rose from her bed like, where are we? What's going on? That's when 20 seconds later, she did that demonic look. Then again, where are we? Who are you? What's going on? She did that demonic look. In my head, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, Lord, what did I do? Like, I think I said something like, Jesus, what did I do? And I was like, God, what did I do? And something told me, get out of there. It was like 5 a.m. and I skated to my friend's house, which was like an hour, 20 minutes away.
He skated an hour and 20 minutes to a friend's house from a demonic hotel where he left a woman that was having some kind of medical episode, or maybe she was like trying to scare him. Maybe he said something really fucked up, and so like she was like, oh, I can scare him away. I don't even have to like break up with him. He'll just get scared away and never call me again. Like there are so many different alternative explanations for what happened here that we don't need a magical like solution for it.
I know something in my head was an outer energy, an outer voice. Like it wasn't an audible voice, it was in my head. But I know it wasn't me because I was not planning to leave that room. Yeah. Third reason why I believe in God, this one is more simple. How can we explain that deeper meaning of purpose we all have? That feeling of love we all have? That feeling of wanting to know where we came from and where we're going? Like if we were...
I mean, those are common things that people just feel. Like I guess I don't understand how this, like having those thoughts, like having any kind of abstract thought, like I don't understand why that's anything that would indicate that God exists. Those are common things that people think about. Those are common things that, people are concerned with. Like, I think it ultimately resolves to the whole survival instinct thing. Thinking about where we come from, like all those existential sort of thoughts there are things that people often think, especially, those that are sentient. Like these are common thoughts that come up. I don't understand how this proves that God exists. Like you don't need, in order to have an existential thought or even an existential crisis, God doesn't need to exist. Gesundheit. God doesn't need to exist. I mean, you just have to be sentient. Sentience doesn't just because you're sentient doesn't necessitate that God is necessary. I feel like I repeated a couple words there that were probably not needed, but you get what I'm saying.
Truly just bacteria and just globs of atoms. None of these questions would be present in like society or in like people. You know what I'm saying?
You would need to prove that. Those are positive claims. Like if we don't have the magical sauce in our brains that only comes from God, then we can't think existential thoughts. That just the properties of the laws of chemistry and laws of physics that control like our brain chemistry and everything like that, and how our brains work, that alone cannot provide these existential questions or explain these existential questions. We need some kind of magical God goop that God jizzes into our brains. Like apparently that's what he's saying. You're going to need to provide some kind of evidence that is necessary. We have natural explanations that show that like the physical laws that govern our brains and our brain chemistry, they produce those kinds of existential thoughts. But again, you would need some kind of evidence to prove to us that a God is necessary in order to have those feelings.
I think we would be more like, just like animals, like intuitive, just going to work because.
Wait, hold on. We are animals, by the way. Like, I'm just pointing it out. We are animals just because we're different animals than other animals and that we have a more complex central nervous system. We're sentient and all this other stuff. Like, just because of those differences, that doesn't necessitate that God exists.
Our instincts are making us go to work, not because, we're trying to build a family or build a purpose. I don't know if I'm making sense. Anyway, fourth reason.
No. You're not making sense, like, whatsoever. And I guess I missed the part where he specified that this was the third, but I mean, yeah, okay. So he left the girl in the hotel room that was having a mental episode or something like that, or a medical episode. And then he moved on to this point, which is in order to have existential thoughts, you need a God in order to think those things, apparently. That doesn't make sense. So no, you're not making sense. What's number 4?
I personally believe in God. When I turned to Christianity, because I've always been a believer of God, I just never knew who he was. Like, who is God? Is it the Virgin Mary? Is it Buddha? Is it the universe?
Whoa. Who is God? Is it the Virgin Mary? So you're trying to decide between Protestantism, Catholicism, sorry, I don't know why I pronounce it weirdly like that. Catholicism, Buddhism. Okay. So, I mean, like, even in Catholicism, though, they don't say that the Virgin Mary is God. She's the mother of God, I guess, Jesus being God. So, like, I don't know. It feels like he doesn't even understand, like, the diversity of his own faith.
Is it like an hour before? As soon as they started adding Jesus into my prayer about 7-8 months ago, oh my goodness, things started really changing. Not just
I'm sorry, I'm never going to be convinced of magical incantations having any kind of real effect in life, other than maybe it has an effect on your psychological state. Like, it's kind of like the same thing as a placebo, right? So, you take a placebo and you think things are working when really it's just a sugar pill. Unless you're, taking a placebo and then testing your blood sugar levels, like I have to do all the time, which I haven't checked it in a minute. Okay, I'm fine. Unless that's the test, then you're not going to see any practical effects of it, right? I feel like adding Jesus to your incantations or changing your incantations or making incantations in the first place, those are not things that are going to affect things in reality. Those are placebos that can cause you to operate differently. They can cause you to think things are happening when they're really not happening and all this other shit. So, like, I feel like this whole adding Jesus into your prayers kind of thing is just you're suffering from the placebo effect.
Is that opening my Bible too? Like, I started feeling this outer force, like this magical cosmic force, and call it placebo, call it what you want. That's just me.
Oh shit! He said call it a placebo if you want to. I do, because that's what it fucking is. Like, it's not some magical incantation that's actually changing reality into whatever you want it to be. Also, I think that it's rather weird to, like, pray to God and Jesus and, like, ask them for different things and for different things to happen, because then it's like, oh, hey, you know what? I know, Jesus, that you got a plan, but maybe I got a better one. And like, what the audacity in that. So basically Jesus has a plan, but he's willing to change it just for you. Like, what the fuck is up with that? Also, why is it that we can never prove that Jesus or God or anything like that is directly responsible for anything that you're going to claim they're directly responsible for? Like, I just don't understand that.
And I guess the 5th reason, and I'm improvising this video, it's all improvised.
No shit, you're just improvising. You're driving on the road, which you shouldn't be doing while you're filming. And I mean, no shit, you're improvising. I hope you're not reading from a script right now.
Wasn't even gonna upload a video this week, but I'm like, you know what? I don't have real estate content, but it is a Christian real estate channel, so let's talk about the Christian aspect. And
oh, it's a Christian real estate channel. Oh my God. I hate how they have to work in religion to every single facet of their life. I mean, right now I'm pretty focused like on the news cycle, like on politics and where atheism and religion cross into politics, because Christian nationalism is a beast right now. And so like, that's why I talk about it so much. But like, this is just somebody's normal everyday life and they're working in religion. And I see that all the time here in North Alabama. Like you'll have a work truck and it'll have like some kind of like religious phrase on it or like a passage from the Bible or something, or they've deeply integrated their religiosity in with the brand of whatever their, I don't know, vinyl siding company is. Like it's so weird because like I don't ever see that happening like in the atheist community. Like you don't see atheists out there with like Sagan side business or Sagan sidelines or something. I don't know. You don't ever see that out there. But you definitely see like, you know, different religious companies pop up and it's like they lean in heavily into the whole Christian aspect of it. I'm just really tired of it.
And last reason is he is loyal. Like when people say he is loyal, I now get it. Like I have screwed up and I've put myself in bad situations these past couple months, and yeah, like just thinking about it gets me a little bit emotional. I'm not gonna tear up, but just the situation that I put myself in these couple months, like at moments I doubt, my faith is shaky, and just like the other day I'm driving and smoking and I look down to ash my smoke and next thing you know I'm skidding in a puddle. Like I'm in a puddle and I'm like,
no shit, you were distracted driving? Okay. I mean, that tracks, but also like puddles happen on roads. You skid in puddles. You were like flicking your ash. Like, I don't see, maybe something's going to happen as he skids.
Whoa, and I like, the car's like swerving, I'm in a canyon, all the cars around me, so I'm just putting my life in danger. I'm like, whoa, that was so close, Lord, how do I never get in accidents? Like, I'm an idiot when I drive, like, you are more than present, Lord, like, and I need to really.
So let me get this straight. You're so egotistical that you think that God is protecting your ass while you're distracted driving on the road? Like, I mean, where do you get off thinking that you're so uber special to God that he's specifically protecting you while he's allowing children to die of starvation? There was a guy in Texas that died because he couldn't get insulin. There was the child recently that died of measles. I mean, I can explain why those things happened, but you have to explain why God allowed those things to happen, but saved your ass from skidding while you were smoking and not looking at the road. Like, you're telling me that your ass deserves saving more than some child whose parents didn't get them vaccinated? Are you shitting me right now? I mean, that's probably just proving God to him. You know, the shitting him part.
Really watch out for this. I really need to watch how I drive. But it's not that I'm an idiot when I drive. It's that I drive over 12 hours a day sometimes. So I feel like, yeah, if you drive an hour a week, you're not going to make as much mistakes as you're driving 16 hours every day. Makes sense, I guess. I'm not trying to validate my idiocracy. Anyway, I come close to an accident and I pull over and I'm like,
wait, Idiocracy is a movie. I don't think that that's actually like a word other than, yeah, Idiocracy is just a movie. Yeah. Anyways, I get it. You're not trying to defend being an idiot, but at the same time, you're thinking that God is specifically protecting you. And after you nearly wrecked, you cast a magical incantation that's meant to protect you again. Is this how the magical incantations work? Like you say the magical incantation and it protects you. And then as soon as you use it up, like you've got like a one-hit thing where like, oh shit, I almost died again. Need to cast my magical incantation. Hold on, let me roll for initiative. My incantation's gonna work. Lord Jesus, protect me while I'm a dipshit on the road. And then that's how you protect yourself until the next time, and you're gonna use that protection up.
I'm like, a little shaky. There's no cars around. Like the light above me is flickering, and I'm like, I look up at the sky, and I'm like, Lord, thank you. Like, you never fail. Like, even though I'm an idiot, and you don't want me.
You never fail, even though I'm an idiot. But do you think that that's what the parent of that child that died of measles said to God? Like, oh, you're so great, God. You never fail me. No, I feel like if there was ever a chance for God to fail, that was probably it. There's several different ways out there that God fails in this particular respect. just because you didn't happen to wreck that time doesn't mean that every time you're not going to wreck. Also, I don't know the circumstances of it. If you drive 16 hours a day and you make a lot of mistakes, then like you have a lot of chances to like figure out how not to wreck, I guess. But chances are you've probably wrecked a good bit in the past because, like you said, you drive a lot and you drive for 12 hours at a time sometimes. So like, I mean, I bet you've had wrecks in the past. Where was God then? Why do you seem to be cherry picking those times when God seems to quote unquote save you, but then you forget about the times when God is all thumbs and just sort of fumbles the shit? Like, you're just cherry picking these instances. You're using a bullseye fallacy in order to make it seem like, you know, God is looking out for you and these magical incantations work when they really don't.
To be smoking, like, you still got me, like, you're the loyal one. I'm the a-hole. I'm not the loyal one. That's what I have to work on. That's what I have to work on. Bro, and I go like this, thank you, Lord.
Okay, that's a good way to highlight right there the problem with religion and how it abuses believers. Because you notice how he's like, Lord, you're the one that's good. I'm the one that's bad. And he's got this whole mindset where he is, lower than his God, and his God is always perfect and all this other stuff. That's what religion does to you, especially Christianity. It's a toxic relationship. They indoctrinate you, like whoever indoctrinates you, into the faith, and that faith is toxic, and it causes you to think that you're worse than a fucking genocidal, bloodthirsty, child-killing maniac up there. I'm sorry, but I could never be in such a toxic relationship to think that I am worse than a child murderer. One that does it specifically. Like if you think about the killing of all the firstborn in Egypt, God specifically set up that situation so that it would culminate in him getting to kill all the firstborn children of Egypt. Like he specifically crafted that situation so that he could do that. In nothing that I would ever do, would be as maniacal or as shitty as that right there. Okay, so I am vastly better than your God. I don't think that you should think that you're worse than your God. I think that even though you're being a bit of an idiot right now by recording and driving at the same time, that you are far better than your own God. So stop thinking such toxic thoughts like that. He should be begging you for forgiveness for how shitty he's been.
I kiss my hand and I throw that kiss to the sky. As soon as I do that, that light that was above me just boom stops flickering and it starts working. And I don't like.
Oh my God, a light stopped flickering as soon as he kissed his hand and threw it up to the sky like it was a fucking magical, like, incantation or a magical thing. Like, and then he threw his kiss and it repaired the circuitry in the light. Really? Lights stop flickering all the time. It flickers for one reason or another. Like, let's say that there's just a bad connection there that's causing the light to flicker. Or maybe there's like a problem in the bulb that, the wind was blowing, was causing it to move a little, and was causing it to flicker. All of a sudden, the wind stopped blowing as soon as you went, that right there.
Saying these type of things because people are going to be like, oh, he's just like on that. He's just looking for God in everything. Now everything is God. Like everything is a sign. But bro.
Yep. That's exactly it. Everything's a sign. Everything, bruh.
Just the timing of that is like undeniable. Like one thing I've learned before I came to Christ, both people that worship La Santa Muerte or Satanists and Christians, this is one thing they have in common. They don't believe in coincidence. They don't believe in coincidence. Nothing is coincidence.
Okay, it's fine. You can not believe in coincidence, but that doesn't mean that coincidences don't happen. Coincidences are more likely than your magical wizard doing something, that's for sure.
So just things like that. Like I have a handful of little situations where the timing is like, bruh, if this isn't a coincidence, Lord, I love you. You are beautiful. You are loyal. You are present.
So let me get this straight. For this motherfucker right here, he blows a kiss to God and a light stops flickering, and all of a sudden that shows how awesome God is. He's just star-spangled fan-fucking-tastic at that point, right? Okay. So that little thing proves that God is great and wonderful. Meanwhile, kids are starving every single day. I could easily Google this. Let's see. How many kids starve a day? More than 10,000 children die from hunger and related causes each day. So let me get this straight. God is wonderful, beautiful, and all loving and all that because he stopped a light from flickering. Meanwhile, 10,000 kids die a day. I mean, I don't think that's a hard number. Like, it's an average number per day given. Everybody knows how that works. But it's March 1st now. So that's what? Let's see. 28 plus 31. That's 59 days into the new year. So into the new year, God has allowed, let's see. Just making sure I get my numbers right here. 590,000 deaths. 590,000 deaths. Children, by the way, children. But God stopped that light from flickering, so he...
Wow. Thank you, Lord. I don't know who has to hear this. I know someone out there this is resonating with them. Like, they just feel it. Another thing, which is kind of strange, but I'm just came to accept, is that you don't choose God. God chooses you. God chooses you, and when he's choosing you, he is nudging. He is, hey.
Is that what God does? God acts like a petulant child that's just like, hey. That's what God is doing right there. Like, that's annoying as fuck. Also, why can't God just be more blatant about it? Like, if it was God, like, just fucking, instead of like doing this whole like, because it's not even God that's being like, hey. God is like setting up things intricately so that it happens to you so that he could be like, hey. And so, like, why can't God just directly come down and be like, hey. I'm gonna let this kid die over here, but I'm gonna fix your light.
Yo, when you look at him, he's like, wow, okay.
You looked at God? I feel like that's going to cause you to go blind if you look at God like that. At least that's what it says in the Bible. Maybe you should read up on that book if you're going to be preaching it.
Something is calling me. Look at him, you're like, oh, there's something there. Then you start losing faith again. You start going back to your worldly ways. He's back. Hey. I'm right here, dude.
No, God doesn't do that. If God did that, then I wouldn't be an atheist. You are perceiving that to be God. In your mind, you think that it's God, but there's no evidence to suggest that it actually is God.
Oh, dude, like, love you guys. I'll come back with more real estate content, Christian real estate content.
What is that exactly? Christian real estate content. Like, do you walk into a house and you're showing it off and then you start repeating a whole bunch of Bible verses? Like, is that what is happening here? Like, I have no idea.
A little bit emotional. I mean, it's hard not to when you're passionate about things you've lived in, things you've seen, and life experiences that undeniably point at God. And then God points at the Bible and Jesus. It's what it is, man. Love you guys. I'll see you guys.
That's okay. I'm done. Anyways, that's going to be it for me tonight. As far as the video goes, we do have the Skeptic Mafia comments to get to, so we are going to be getting to that here in just a second. But if you will, please go down below and let me know what you thought about this video. Are you convinced that God exists? Are you convinced that Jesus is the Son of God and that you should be a Christian? Let me know down below in the comments. And while you're down there, why don't you smash that like button and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens. But don't go because we got the Skeptic Mafia to get to. Let's see. Posts. Wait, wrong post. Excuse me. Okay. Skeptic Mafia. All right. First up from the Skeptic Mafia is Jonathan Nickel. He says 5 proofs of God from a car theist. 1, look at the trees combined with the argument from Design and Watchmaker. 2, demons and more inane waffle. 3, meaning and purpose. For me, a God does not give life meaning. It takes all meaning away. 4, it felt good. 5, he makes mistakes and thanks his God because he has somehow survived. No doubt he will thank his God again when he realizes how dangerous it is for him to film whilst driving. This guy makes so many twists and turns whilst he is driving and talking. His sat-nav must have freaked out by now. Whatever his destination, he is clearly nowhere near God. Thank you so much there, Jonathan Nickel. Next is Mark Fernkoff, who says, well, that was something. I know car theists are gonna car theists, but most car theists have their phone in front of them on the dash or something so that they can still look around, look at the road while they're doing their stupid thing. But bruh, you got your phone over in the passenger seat so that you have to keep looking over onto the phone away from the road constantly. I mean, you're constantly keeping your eyes off the road. I don't think you've got in a wreck because God didn't invite you. If you're smoking and driving, I think you got in a wreck because you can't keep your eyes on the fucking road. Argument 1, to know he's doing the whole look at the trees thing. But first, he's going to say how perfect the eye is designed, and you are wearing a fucking eyeglasses, dude. Not so perfectly designed, huh, bruh? And then he continues on with his argument, 1, to literally say again and again and again, look at the trees, look at the trees, look at the trees! Then we get on to the Satanic Hotel that later becomes a Satanic Hostel. Whether at the hotel or a hostel, it's still satanic because of the dark artwork. Okay, bruh, whatever. And the woman was clearly possessed by demons because she was acting really weird and different from the last time you saw her. Bruh, it sounds like she was just really fucked up on some drugs. That's certainly the scenario you described. Your conclusion was just whack, bruh. You know how when God is talking to you, he just nudges you like, hey, yo. So is God Jesse Pinkman? Bruh. Anyways, trying to type this while driving is hard. New Toast to Toast AM tonight at 9 p.m. Central over on Apologia Live. Sorry, that was for yesterday. New Lord of the Rings movie drops on Max tonight. Daredevil Born Again on March 4th. Doctor Who season 43 returns April 12th, and Andor Season 2 on April 22nd. Exciting times. I love and worship the gorgeous goddess Candy Black. Later, heathens. Everything okay, hon? Everything all right? Oh. Yeah, I'm almost done. Next is Tomato Goes Zoom, who says, oh, great, it's a car theist, not to be confused with a McCarthyist, which is a totally different thing. Holy shit, dude, this couldn't wait until you were home and like not doing a task that requires your full concentration, such as, driving. Anyway, I switched computers recently and just now realized I totally didn't back up my ASCII database. So I'm going to have to remake everything or find where I uploaded them, which is a bit tougher than I thought. Anyways, here's the ASCII for tonight. Fail whale, because why not go with the classics? Anyway, if you don't want to be a fail whale, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you're feeling especially charitable, join the Skeptic Mafia today. Just a click away and you get perks. Insert perks here. So normally you get to pick the video for Friday nights. You get to leave comments like this, and we're still working on getting back into a regular groove of podcasts. So definitely you get some perks. Tomato Goes Zoom continues with, KC is always right. I will listen to KC's recommendations. KC is God, and if this happens again, KC will personally rip your lungs out. Eat your fruits and veggies, drink some goddamn water, tomato out. And then finally we got Mr. Hanachek down there. It says, oh my God, a bunch of laughing emojis. I had to speed this video up. Holy crap. I'm hoping that you do this at like 1.5, maybe 1.25. It's up to you, GE. Hopefully you speed this video up because holy shit, the nonsense that this man just said. I feel like I just lost a whole bunch of brain cells. I would have, but like I really wanted to take it in and like be able to fully think out exactly what he's saying. Otherwise, like my brain would just blow past shit. Remind KC, she's almost always right. I may be listening in, but I don't know if I'll be able to make it. I'll be able to make very many comments. I hope you all have a great night. Thank you there, Jonathan Hanchek. Appreciate you there, bud. That's going to be it for the Skeptic Mafia. There. That's going to be it for the Skeptic Mafia tonight, and that's it for our stream. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'm so glad that y'all were flexible enough to shift days a little bit. I was pretty exhausted yesterday. But in any case, I hope y'all have an awesome weekend and everything like that. I think I may go and play a video game or do something, just sort of relax tonight. And yeah, I hope that you guys have a great night. We will, be doing some more like TikTok live stuff next week and everything. And I guess I will just see you guys then. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.